Welcome to Neon Cobra. Let's kick into it. For this session, we are going to actually review how to price out reserved instances or reservations. This can be very important depending on the country you reside in. Believe it or not, this is a little bit easier in the US, but any country that uses a non-standard or USD dollar, in this case Canadian, the example we'll use, price fluctuation can come in the effect of exchange rate. So what I'm going to show you today is two potential ways you can actually figure out the price of reservations. Additionally, this will also work for savings plans at the same time as far as the discount you would receive. Now, this is very important when you're trying to maybe build a fixed fee model or understand what the variance between a regular pay-as-you-go virtual machine versus a restricted down reserved instance. So we're going to hop on to the first section of the Azure pricing calculator. So this is essentially your authoritative source for any virtual machine and reservation. So what you will find in here, if you choose add to estimate, just like where you're building your own pricing calculator, you'll come in and you're going to choose your region, right? This is very important because virtual machines cost different in different areas depending on capacity. Even what is made available to you may be different than what is actually present. So make sure you choose your region. The additional is you want to choose your currency. If you USD, it'll likely default for that. If you've logged in, it's likely got your regions already set as well. But we will come in and choose Canadian dollars. And this is where we're going to see our exchange rate fluctuation. So this is very important if you were, again, in a non-US currency. Now, from there, you have your virtual machine, you've got your regions, right? We'll just do like a D4S V6 just to start. And what you're going to notice is the running tally at the top there is a combination of operating system licensing and compute. Now, this is very important because you may inadvertently use hybrid benefits to reduce one, but keep the other as pay as you go. You might just do reservations. But to understand what your compute costs, you need to be focusing on this column right here. So the easiest way, this $224.54 Canadian on a 1-year reservation will receive a 38% discount, which will be $138.98, or a 3-year of $87.45. This is the important part to pay attention to. If we're trying to figure out the variance, it is going to be $224 discounted down to $87. So that'll be the discounts or the variance. Now, from a margin or a back-end standpoint, understanding you receive 0% margin on the reservations. So whereas you may receive points from your distributor of choice on this 224, once you reserve, Microsoft no longer passes through directly through distribution reserved or margins. So this is your opportunity to blend these numbers to increase profitability, right? So you can engage in a 3-year term and move it from 224 to 87, but maybe you charge 125, right? It's $100 a month reduction for your client, and you receive more margin in this case. So you'd receive more money by marking that back up by an extra $40 to $50 a month. Now, the same thing applies for savings plans. You would see at the reduced rate, it would draw from the savings plan pool. Now, if you are unsure of the difference between saving plans and reservations, I'll link to a previous video I did on this. But the idea is it draws from an assigned pool of compute spend at that reduced rate. So it would draw $103 against the pool as opposed to $224. Now, another area for you to be able to do this would be actually in Azure itself. So this may seem a little bit convenient as you come in here and you press add to choose your reservations. And if you're unfamiliar how to do this, there will be an additional video linked on how to buy reservations. But the idea is in here, it'll tell you the costs of the reservations you're looking to purchase. So as I choose this D2AS, it is going to load the price at the bottom here. Now, there are some difficulties with this one. For one, it's only going to show the price in USD. So if you're in US, this is fantastic. But if you're in Canada or another country, when you choose add to cart and view cart, this is where you would normally see in a Canadian tenant or an international tenant, the price after exchange rate. So it can be a little bit difficult if you're going through and you're sizing these out and you have numerous virtual machines to understand what the individual impact of each one would be. However, if you're doing a bulk order and you're intending to order at that time, this will give you the current month's price based on exchange rate at the bottom half to make an assessment of. Now, this isn't locking them in permanently at that rate. What is essentially happening behind the scenes is you are locking it in at the USD price of 23.86 in this instance. Exchange rate month over month will affect that. So if it goes up 2 points, you'll see this go up 2 points. If it drops down a couple, you'll see that as well. The idea is the underlying price in USD is fixed for the term on a 1 or a 3 year, and the exchange rate is what's causing the fluctuation. You should still be seeing on average a 50 to 60% reduction, so it still makes sense to do it. And then the terms and conditions of a reserved instance can be found in the linked below article as well. I do recommend bookmarking that and keeping it available, because you will find occasionally it will change with time, and having the most up-to-date information on cancellation penalties, exchange windows, and everything is probably a good idea. Now, at this point, this is as of January 20th, 2026. We have still not seen any sort of cancellation penalty in play. But it's something to keep an eye on. We are seeing slight changes on how these function in the systems. Now, savings plans is a whole other game. Check the video on that one. That stuff is still relevant as far as what a savings plan is, how to order it, and some of the caveats and gotchas to watch out for. So hopefully this helps you price out and understand your discounts available to you using reserved instances. And in the end, hopefully we can increase your overall profitability to make it a business decision that you want to make, and can make your clients come out in a much happier space. And with that, we'll catch you next time.